I have two sons, and the youngest was diagnosed with schizophrenia. He had a huge psychosis, and so you have this young man in your life, your son, who did his third year at university. Was you don't even know that he's sick, and then all of a sudden he is gone, and his body is there, but there's somebody in there that is not your son, completely changed, and that's hard. That's hard, and that was heartbreaking. That was so heartbreaking, and I think that in some ways it's been maybe the gift that I needed to open up and to crack that terrible shell that I had um, around me. So yeah, life is not easy, not easy. And I think we need strong people. We need courage. We need strong words. I find that with my poetry now, that's what I like to do is to, like my last book is called Raw Sweets. It's like raw words. It's like, telling it as it is. And yeah, I don't know. It's, it's just different lives, huh? Different people have different
Mhm.
challenges and so on. And why do we have to go through this? I don't know, but we do.
I have a question for you, but if you feel that that question goes too far, or if you don't want to answer it for any
Mm,
reason whatsoever, please let me know. That's totally fine.
I will. I will.
That situation with your son, I think what you just said, if I understood you correctly, is that after that episode, when the psychosis happened, that's when you got triggered or engaged in opening your heart more.
Mhm.
Do you think that if you opened your heart earlier, that you could have prevented what happened?
Oh, I wouldn't know. I don't know. I don't know. Because could I have done something differently that maybe he wouldn't have had the psychosis? I wouldn't, I think I would have had to be knowledgeable about psychosis. I would have had to be almost like a psychiatrist to see the signs but I wasn't. I didn't know.
Right.
It came as complete surprise. It's not as if I saw that, oh, this boy could have problems. I didn't see them. I didn't see them at all. I just thought, sometimes he was a little bit strange, but I thought, oh, well, it's just, a fad or whatever. But young people also, and I know in his case, sometimes they take drugs and it could be influenced by that. It could come on by, we don't know. But the only thing I know, and if you don't mind, this is something that really, really happened to me when I realized on the phone he was calling me and he was saying that there was something growing in his chest here outside of his body and that he was being taken by aliens. Okay, so, well, your son is calling you and saying that. So that's when it triggered, poof,
Right.
And what happened to me at that time is that I actually fainted. I just I just fainted. And I remember being in a spiral, okay? And that spiral was so dark. And there were like horrible faces, dark faces everywhere, okay? But there was a light at the end, and I felt love. I can't bring it. Love, that word just it doesn't, it, it doesn't really say what I want to say, but I felt that, but all this tunnel of darkness and of, I realized that that was me. I had to clean up. I had to clean myself. I really did. I had been so bitter, so dark, so closed. And now this opening is also very slow. It doesn't happen,
Mhm.
overnight.
Mhm.
It takes time. You take risks, you try a little bit, and then you try crying because I had to cry, when you haven't cried in years. But then I had to I had to let myself just go. And yeah, it's just weird experiences, isn't it? It's just very weird. So that's why, in this life, what do we know? What do we know for sure?
Mhm.
It's like you meet these people who have the truth. They hold the truth. They know. And anybody that doesn't say what they believe is an idiot or is judged in some way. I don't know how they can do that. I have no clue. We just don't know. We don't know.
Yeah,
And we live with
it's that idea again. Having the answer before the question has been asked.
mhm, yep, yeah, that's a very good one. Yeah.
I have one question for you regarding that experience that you had after you fainted, after you got that phone call from your son.
Hmm.
You said you landed in a spiral, in a downward spiral
Hmm.
that was dark and had these faces, and
Hmm.
it was a very dark experience. You said, but you said there was a light,
Yep.
there was a way out.
Yep.
What was that? What was that light for you?
I don't know. I really don't know. I've heard a lot of people who have what they call what do they call that? That they almost die and then they come back. um,
Hmm.
they always talk about that tunnel. I don't think the tunnel is that dark though. Um, I'm not sure what it is. I'm not sure. Is it God? Like, do I believe in God? I don't know. I really don't know. I think there's something that seems to care and to come and give us signs or something. I'm not sure. That's very hard for me because I've been brought up Catholic, where I believed in God, and the very first thing I wanted in this world was to be a saint. I wanted to go to God. I wanted to die very, very young as a child. I wanted to die because I would go right away to heaven. Like, why wait? All that kind of stuff. And, but the God that I thought I knew as a child, and now this idea of a God watching over us or loving us, or I don't know. I have no clue. It's, and this, an episode like this, I could say that the light was God, that the light was love, or what? I don't know. I really don't know.
What specifically is it about words and about language that you love so deeply, that you care so much about?
It's like the possibilities of words. It's endless. Words can make you say horrible things, they can destroy you, they can also love you, but they are amazing. I have two sons, and the youngest was diagnosed with schizophrenia. You don't even know that he's sick. His body is there, but there's somebody in there that is not your son.
I have a question for you, but if you feel that that question goes too far, or if you don't want to answer it for any reason whatsoever, please let me know.
If you have something that happens that is tearing you apart, and you can just turn to God and say, "Oh man, that hurts. Why did you do that?" I don't judge it. I think that people that have faith are very lucky. Maybe life is easier when you believe.
What you and I are having right now is not a conversation about poetry. It's a conversation about the human experience, your human experience. That is a beautiful story. That is a story very much worth telling. And I think you've really told that story very beautifully today.